Hello. I saw many posts complaining about crashes in the higher rounds, so I decided to make a kind of a mini series going through different lightweight builds for your computer. So these builds are very strong. I started this run with a level 0 King of Nature, and that's why I had no perks. So they're very strong and they're very lightweight. They don't focus on having many units. They focus on having small but strong units, or then having a very strong castle. I have seen multiple posts about the game crashing, etc., when trying to reach high rounds. So I decided to today make a build that's very easy on your computer and very effective for high rounds. And as you can see, my King of Nature is level 0. So this build is very effective, very fun, and it's also very satisfying. And I have never played with boars or ballistas or King of Nature in general. So yeah, that's how strong this build is. And we of course start with boars, and we want to stack their HP as soon and as much as possible. And because ballista's base stats have 0.1 attack speed, so it basically shoots once per 10 seconds, ideally you want to start stacking your ballista's attack speed while you're also stacking your boar's HP, because also the more HP your boars have, the more attack speed your ballistas get. So this way you're kind of stacking your ballistas with maybe 6 plots, like 3 forests and 3 beacons, and yeah, it gets pretty strong and crazy pretty fast. Because as most of you probably already know, every 1 HP your boars have, they buff the agent unit's stats by 1%. So if your boars have 1 million HP, they buff your agent units stats by 1 million%, which, yeah, it's kinda crazy. So your ballista that's supposed to shoot like once per 10 seconds can now actually have like 1 million shots per second and one shot everything. And because ballista's base stats have 0.1 attack speed, so it basically shoots once per 10 seconds, ideally you want to start stacking your ballista's attack speed while you're also stacking your boar's HP, because also the more HP your boars have, the more attack speed your ballistas get. So this way you're kind of stacking your ballistas with maybe 6 plots, like 3 forests and 3 beacons, and yeah, it gets pretty strong and crazy pretty fast. And I also got a very early overworks, which is ideal in this situation. And you want to have 1 stack of boars and 1 stack of ballistas in the early game, and that way it's also very lightweight on your computer, because effectively you're gonna have like maybe 300 units at year 90, when mercenaries, rats, or King of Blood would have like thousands of units. So with this build you're gonna focus on a very small amount of units, but very strong, at least in the early game. And yeah, it becomes really silly pretty fast, to the point where our ballistas just one-shot everything. But it is pretty satisfying, you gotta admit. Like, our ballistas deleting everything in seconds. But there's one catch when you're trying to go for the later rounds. There are hidden stat caps. So in this run, I way overshot my stats. Like, my boars had tens of millions or billions HP, and when they multiply my ballista stats by millions and billions, and even though the game doesn't say that my stats are capped, there are hidden stat caps. So that way you also ideally want to maybe stack another I mean, maybe buff another stack of boars and ballistas, or boars and defenders. And that's why I kinda started also buffing other stacks, but it's still pretty lightweight for your computer because I still ended up with like 300 units only. And if it starts to get laggy, then you don't have to like start buffing other stacks. And when you think you're starting to kind of hit the stat limits, then of course you can also start building libraries and stack steel codes on your ballistas, because even though your other stats are stacked, I don't think there is a limit on like steel codes on your units or something like that. So yeah, the best way to move forward with your units is to then start stacking them with enchants from libraries. So you can see here, I start to replace my beacons with libraries, and at this point, if you played Mercenaries or King of Blood or King of Progress, they would have so many units that you're basically fighting against your own PC, not the enemies in the game. So yeah, this build is very good, very stable at least. So in this game, you can see me starting to build some random stuff like random units and start buffing them and etc. And I hit my boar ballista stat cap a long time ago. So in this game, I probably should have um, kind of forgot my boars and start buffing other units like way earlier. So if you are really going for the high years run, then you kinda have to get to know the stat caps. But I don't know the stat caps. But at some point you can see that your units aren't getting any stronger even though you're buffing them. And that's when I should have started maybe replacing some of my buffing things and started maybe placing my units better. And maybe I placed too many different units. I maybe should have placed, like I did with the ballista and boars. Maybe I should have just placed another stack of boars and ballista, like focus on another group of ballista boars, and when they hit their stat cap, then move to another group of ballistas and boars. But defenders are also a good option, and that's why I went for the defenders here. And as you can see, the enemy units are starting to get so fast that even though I have very strong units and steel coats, they're still like killing half of my units in the 1 second it takes me to kill them. So they do get kinda crazy. So I am thinking there is some kind of a cap on steel coats, because otherwise I don't think my units would be dying so fast. Or the enemy unit's attack speed is so crazy that they do like over 1,000 hits per second, which is also a possibility in this game. But yeah, this was a very good way to also level up my King of Nature. I got 2.5 levels, I think, from this run. It was pretty fun, and I am definitely gonna be trying to beat the King 9-8 with the King of Nature. So we'll see how that goes. Maybe I'll get to King 9-9 at some point. That would be kinda insane. And I have been playing only King of Blood and King of Spells, so I think it would be interesting to see that how strong the King of Nature could also be. So I wouldn't just be playing the two same kings all the time. Thank you for watching, and I will surely make more videos on 99 years builds. Like, I know there's one with King of Greed's Citadel. Of course, with King of Spells you can get to 99 with low amounts of units. And I want to find out what are the best builds for high rounds with the least amount of um, pressure on your PC. So the most lightweight builds, but still very effective.